Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name is Lucia. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Pearl of the Pacific, and you can find the podcast on and more information about me and my business at pearlthepacific.info, or you can find the podcast on YouTube, or often I post it in the thread on Ravelry. Well, welcome to episode 36, sorry. It's Monday, August 11th, and I hope you all had a great week. I had a very full week, and as a result, I have a lot of things to show you, so this is going to be kind of a long one. I'm sorry. And yeah, let's get started. Below the conch shell, we have the August knit along going on, the back to school theme. So anything that reminds you of going back to school, whether you're knitting teacher gifts or items for your child to go back to school or you to go back to school, or you can knit things that you're learning a new technique, or maybe you took a class either on Craftsy or your local yarn store, or maybe you're just using YouTube videos to teach yourself a new technique. Maybe you're knitting intarsia for the first time, or color work, or even just trying socks for the first time, or trying them a different way. Maybe you use magic loop and now you're trying DPNs or something like that. So go wild. If you can fit it into the theme and sell it to me, I'll take it. I'm not going to be too persnickety about it. And just because I want everyone and anyone to participate. So go ahead, you have all month. Yay! I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I've got a few things that could apply, and so we'll see. Alright, well, let's get started with On the Island. I'll start with what I'm knitting on now. This is the Madonna Beach Bag by Heidi Kermeyer out of Barocco Pure Pima, which is a cotton, in jojoba or jojoba, however you pronounce that, and key lime. And it's just a simple stripy bag. It's at a pretty loose gauge, so it'll be a nice stretchy bag for the beach. So I'm pretty excited. I'm almost done with the first two balls, and I have 2 more balls left. I bought this yarn on sale forever ago, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it. And I was like, oh, beach bag, perfect. So I saw Sarah of the O Loops or Fiber by Design podcast and thing on it. Oh, beach bag, perfect. So I decided to cast this on. Ta-da! So that was one of my cast-ons this week. And also, I think these are the ones you've seen before, the Rivendell socks by Varina Jones out of Knit Pick Stroll in Pearlescent. And I've just, all tangled up here. I've just started the gusset increases, which are on the top of the foot. So it's very simple once you get the toe done. That's the most complicated part right there. But this is pretty simple, and then you have the gusset, and then the heel, which I'll get to eventually, and those are coming along quite nicely. I knit on them while watching Return of the King at Ravinia, which was fantastic, I will tell you. There must have been 1,000 people there, all sitting on the lawn watching the movie with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra and a very large choir performing the soundtrack live. And it was incredible. Just because, it makes you very aware of how much of a role music plays in movies and how much of it there is. And also, it was really great to watch it with 1,000 people who were all really into it. They were all cheering and clapping at exciting parts, or laughing at funny parts or whatever. So that was fantastic. If you ever have an opportunity to do something like that, go. It's fantastic. Anyway, on back to knitting. I also cast on the Magrathea shawl by Martina Behm. And here it is. Ta-da! This is out of some of the yarn I got on the yarn crawl that I think I showed last week. and it's, where is it? 3 Irish Girls Bamboo Cotton in Chameleon. And it's quite lovely. I really like how the pattern is coming out in this yarn. The lace shows up right away, which is fun, just because it's cotton bamboo. And I'm really excited. So that's coming along. It's nice and drapey because of the bamboo. And yeah, I'm knitting it on these really short, they're short tips. I mean, that's how long the tip is, so it's a little shorter than I like them, but they're working out. It's the only one I have in this size, I think. And a little short cable. That's probably meant for hats. It's about the size of a hat, but it works for this. I'm not going to complain. It's a 2.5. It's what's recommended in the pattern. I decided to just go for that. I often, I realize, don't share the needle size that I'm using, and that's mainly because my gauge may tend to be different than your gauge, so I don't want you to assume that because I'm knitting it on a size 2.5. You should knit it on a size 2.5. I started it and I realized I liked the drape and I liked the way that felt, so I kept going. So I basically started the shawl as my gauge swatch and decided I liked it. So with a wool, I probably would have washed it and blocked it with a swatch, but bamboo cotton doesn't grow. I mean, it grows once you wear it for a long time, but it doesn't change very much when you block it. So I decided that, and it's a shawl, so gauge isn't as important. It is still important on a shawl. I guess continuing shawl talk from a little while ago, just because you want a certain type of drape. Where's my other yarn? A certain type of drape in shawls that you don't want in other projects, or maybe you do want in other projects. So that's important to think about when you're doing shawls, is your gauge. I mean, it's important to think about any project you do, but that's that. Oh, I have one more thing on the needles, and these are my Expanding Community Socks by Megan Williams of the Stockinette Zombies. And these are out of the Knitted Wit yarn that I showed last week that I got from a D-stash. And it's in Frosted Cedar. And they're coming out quite nice. I've been flying along on them. I went to a gaming night on Saturday after I went to Stitches, and I got a huge chunk done, mainly because I knit in between my turns. Yeah, I'm that person in the gaming group that knits in between turns, but I do pay attention most of the time. There were a few times I wasn't paying attention, but it wasn't because I was knitting. It was because I was talking to someone who wasn't playing the game that I was. But these are coming along quite quickly, and yeah, it's pretty simple pattern and it's pretty easy to memorize, and I'm really excited how it's looking in this yarn. So, ta-da! And that's it for On the Island. I finished one thing, and these are it. Ta-da! Well, 2 things, I guess. 1 project. And these are the Abra Alba wrist warmers by Mathilde Scar. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And they are out of Cascade 220, which is this, and it's a dark purple. I know it's not showing up that way, but it is. And Malabriga Rios in natural. And I knit these to match a hat that I knit myself a while ago. And this is the Little Scallops hat. I added a couple scallops because the pattern is originally written for a child, and my head's a little bigger than that. I may be able to wear child-size clothing, but I can't wear child-size hats. So those are going to go nicely with my purple coat in the fall. Ta-da! So that's what I finished. Yeah, but I cast on all of the things. I think one of those things is new. Yeah, these were pretty much done last week. You saw them. I was like here, and then I had to do the thumb. So I pretty much finished them that evening. It would be the next day. But yeah, I got really inspired with all of the new yarn that I bought from the crawl. And so, yeah, I had a winding party one night. I had a kind of crummy day at work, so I came home and I wound a bunch of yarn, and I made myself feel better. Because what are you going to do? you have a crummy day at work, find a bunch of yarn and cast on a bunch of new things. These were all things I was planning on knitting, so it was fine. All right, let's go to From the Mainland and then come back to some of the other things. So From the Mainland, there are a lot of things in here, so prepare to be enabled. All right, let's start with things that came in the mail. First thing that came in the mail was this adorable project bag from Molly of A Homespun House. Thank you, Molly. This bag is fantastic. I love the size of this bag, so hopefully one day I'll be able to get more in this size. But it fits a folded up pattern perfectly. My Magrathea is in here right now. And it's got one huge skein of yarn, my needle nook there, / notions pouch, and my folded pattern, and it's perfect. And it's got the little yarn, it was upside down, but you get the idea. Zipper pull. And it's got little horses on it, which is adorable. As you know from a previous episode, I grew up with horses, so I saw this and went, I think I need that. So that's what my Magrathea has been living in, and I love it. And the other thing I got in the mail was this. Ta-da! If you watch the Dramatic Knits podcast, you may recognize this as one of the bags that was in his shop that Callie bought right before SSK. And I was really hoping he would get more, and he did. So this is made by the Silver Shed USA. This is the large sweater bag, and it comes with this strap, which is fantastic. I actually use this as my purse at Stitches, and it was perfect. I could clip pins to this, like buttons, really easily and not worrying about damaging the fabric because it's knitted or woven nylon. Yeah, woven nylon. And it was perfect. It was a great size, and I love this. The fabric. I was going to say stitch pattern, but it's a fabric. I don't know if I've told you the stories behind, or the story behind me and giraffes. If I haven't, please let me know and I'll tell you. I don't want to tell it now because otherwise this episode is going to get way too long. But I love it. It's got this clip-on zipper pull. Ta-da! And I love yellow. Yellow is one of my favorite colors at the moment. That and light blue. So you can see by the yarn I've been buying. So I'm really excited about that. And that is a large, large bag, but that's okay. The other thing I bought was some of Steve's hand spun. And I'm not a spinner, as you know, because you've never seen spinning from me before. So I've never worked with hand spun. I've never had hand spuns. This is my first hand spun. I'm really excited. It looks like commercial yarn. Steve, you do an incredible job. It's amazing. And this colorway is called Back to the Shadow. And that's coming out pretty accurate. It's really deep, almost black. It's almost like an indigo black into a dark blue and then a lighter blue and then the white. So it is a progressive or a gradient until it gets to the white. But anyway, it is 100% BFL, 360 yards. I have no idea what I'm going to make with this, but I saw it and went, oh my gosh, I need that. Because one, I've never worked with hand spun, and two, I love gradients. So that's that. All right, now let's get into some of the yarn I bought on the crawl that I didn't show last time. So one thing was I got some Haiku Simply Worsted by Cassell in this blue colorway, which is one of my favorites, and like a natural undyed. So those are going to go together. I think I'm going to do the papyrus cowl. I'm not sure, but those two are going to go together in something. Also on the crawl, I bought some Malabrigo Reflecting Pool, and I bought a sweater's worth of this. Yeah, I'm kind of addicted to Malabrigo, and I kept walking by this color and I kept looking back at it, and so finally I decided, you know what, I'm just going to get a sweater's worth because that's what they had. So someday that's going to be a sweater. It's Arroyo, so it's their Plied DK. So I'm really excited about that. I also got some Blue Ridge Yarns Footprints in Dragon Breath. And it is really that bright, folks. And it comes with a coordinating heel toe, whatever skein. So it is bright orange and red, and it's got this like brown red here too, just a little bit of it. There might be some more hiding, but it's bright and it's awesome. I don't know what that's going to be, probably socks. It may also be a prize for the podcast, I'm not sure, but it's that. And another shop, I got these two. This one is Dream in Color Jilly Lace, which is their new lace weight. It's a single ply lace. And this is the Surf colorway. And it's pretty much my favorite colors. It's like turquoises and blues and light blues and dark blues, and it's beautiful. Not sure what that's going to be yet, but it's going to be a shawl of some sort. I'd never tried this yarn. One of my goals, I should say, on the yarn crawl was to get yarns that I have not tried yet. This is also one of my goals at Stitches. So I didn't, besides the Malabrigo, I haven't tried Arroyo. I have tried Rios, which I love, and I knit my Ginny cardigan out of Restita, but I'd never tried Arroyo. So this is another new one to me. It's Hand Painted Knitting Yarns, or HPKY. And this is their Bamboo Blend Fingering, which is Merino Bamboo Nylon Superwash in Aqua Pastel. So it's got teals and blues and it's got some lighter turquoisey there and some almost lavender on the end there. It's really hard to see the purple, but there is some purple there. It's very light purple, but it is purple. And last but not least, I got these over the weekend. I got some American brand, Born, Raised, and Naturally Dyed, also by Skacel, in Hot Springs, which is a pink. It's a dark pink. And these are going to be socks for my mom. Not sure which socks yet, but she likes this color. She has a lot of things in this color, so that'll be great for her. And then I found this in the sale bin. That was also in the sale bin. And I never tried that. I never even heard of that. So that was kind of exciting. This is Blue Sky Alpaca, 50% alpaca, 50% merino, in a darker red. It's not as orange as it's coming out. It's much more of a blue red than an orange red. But it's really squishy. This may also be a prize for the podcast. Not sure yet, but we'll see. I don't wear a lot of red because I have red hair and I have a pink undertone skin, which is apparently a good thing, especially for if you're a model. I'm not a model, obviously, anyway. But I can't wear a lot of reds because it makes me look very flushed or blushy, and so I don't wear a lot of red. I love red. Obviously, I have red hair, so. Anyway, that's it for things from the yarn crawl. I was able to visit 11 stores, a few of which were new to me. I hadn't seen them before, so that was kind of fun. And I finished my little passport here, turned in all my extra prize drawing thingies for raffles and such, so The yarn crawl ended yesterday, so we'll see if I won anything. I'm not very good at winning things, so we'll see. But it was fun. I had fun visiting all the stores, so I think it was worth it. That's it for yarn crawl. I did get a few things. I got a lot of things at Stitches. I'm not going to show you all of them. I'm going to spread them out over the next few weeks. Otherwise, this podcast would be very, very long. But I will show you, the earrings I'm wearing. You can see kind of against my dark hair there. They are little skeins of yarn. And these were in the Erin Lane booth. They weren't by Erin Lane. They were by someone else. But I was just saying to my husband the other day, honey, you know what I don't have? I don't have any yarn earrings. And for someone who has a lot of earrings, I don't have any. So I decided I would get some. It was funny, I thought I was going to make some, and then, what did I do with the thing? Here it is. They are from Beastie Beads. They're 100% superwash merino mini skeins, and she has a shop on Etsy, so Beastie Beads, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe, there you go, Beastie Beads on Etsy. And so when I walked into Stitches and saw these, I was like, oh, now I don't have to make tiny little skeins for making earrings. So thank you, Beastie Beads. These are adorable. And also at the Erin Lane bag, or the Erin Lane booth, I got a mini bag. It's so cute, and it's bright yellow, which I love. It's a drawstring bag. And it has a little snappy thing that you can use to snap to whatever. So I'm really excited. I think I can probably fit a sock project in here, at least the yarn for the sock project, and keep it in my purse. So right now it's housing all the buttons that I got at Stitches, so I'll show those in a little bit. What else did I get? There was something else. Oh, I ordered from Slip Stitch Studios. She had an update of Club Extras. And I got a stitch kit with a tricorder on it, which is awesome. And her stitch kits, I've kind of decimated this thing at the moment, but it comes with a tape measure, always useful. This tin was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, by the way, but I love it. I got some scissors. Comes with a darning needle, a nice big hole. Awesome. And some stitch markers and a row counter. Oops, one of them fell out of hole. I'll find that. Anyway, it also came with some pattern keepers, which I'll show you in a second. I have one. The other one's on a different pattern, but I have one. If you haven't seen these, I don't want to show the chart for Magrathea, but they keep track of what row you're on. So you can see it's got the Star Wars insignia there. But they help you keep track of what row you're on in a chart. And these are small ones because they have to fit in that tin. But she does carry larger ones. And at first I was like, I don't need those. And now that I have them, I'm like, why did I not do this before? If it's a chart that you only have to go through once, you can just use a highlighter or highlighter tape. But if you have to go through it and then repeat it, it's really nice to have that because then you don't have to like highlight it in different colors or something. So I think that's it for in the mail. Some of those are a couple weeks old. I just forgot to show them or had too many other things to show. So that's it for From the Mainland. Oh, except for one more thing, but this will go into On the Horizon. So on the horizon, I have a bunch of things. One of them is the Arezzo Tank by Elizabeth Green Musselman, and I'm going to knit it out of Rowan Creative Linen, which is 50% linen, 50% cotton. And I think this is the Foggy colorway. which is a bluish gray. I've got 4 skeins of it in my big airline bag that I've had for a long time. It just had a hibernating sweater in it that I finally just took out and put on a shelf. Sorry for the increased noise. It started raining and I'm sitting in front of the fireplace, so it's the rain in the chimney. Anyway, also on the horizon, I'm going to knit something for my Lord of the Rings swap partner. And I finally decided what I'm going to knit, and I'm very excited about it. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is in case she watches. She doesn't know who she is, so it doesn't really matter. But that's going to go on the needles very soon. Also, the Tan House Brook shawl. I know everyone's been knitting it. This is it, if you haven't seen it. But I got to meet Boston Jen at Stitches. It was pretty awesome. She's pretty adorable. And a lot of people were wearing their Tan House Brook shawls. And it's been on my list for a while, but now I'm going to knit it because now I have tons of new yarn. And Amy socks, that's what it is. So one thing that I'm going to show you of yarn that I bought at Stitches was a skein from Skein Delicious. Scandalously beautiful yarn. They are skeindelicious.com. And they had a colorway called Come Along Pond, which is a Doctor Who reference if you are not familiar with Doctor Who. And it's this gorgeous skein of tonal reds. And I'm going to knit some socks for my Amy Pond costume to wear at Gen Con. It's a little ambitious, I know, but I got some new shoes for one of my costumes. I have 2 Amy Pond costumes and I'm working on a 3rd. They just kind of came together. The first one I really planned. The second one just kind of came together right before Gen Con last year. And the 3rd one I was kind of planning all along, but it's similar to the second one. Anyway, but I got some new shoes for one of them. And I don't have socks that work with these. I have like ankle socks, but those show. And so I needed socks for this. So I thought, well, I'll just knit myself some. So I'm going to probably do them mostly stockinette. And I can hopefully whip them out in the next few days. I don't plan on wearing that costume, I think, until I might wear that Friday of Gen Con. I'm not sure which day I'll be wearing it, but those are going to be socks. That's it for immediate on the horizon. I'm also just going to work on what I have on the needles because if you noticed, I cast on a bunch of new stuff. Alright. Flora and fauna. I went to Stitches. It was awesome. It was a little bit overwhelming just because of the sheer size of it. It's not the biggest convention I've been to, but it's the biggest knitting/yarn convention I've been to. Or at least the biggest marketplace I've been to. So the sheer size and the amazingness of all of the yarn was a little much. I loved every minute of it. I'm not saying that I didn't, but I think next time having another day and having a market buddy would be good strategies. I did go in with a plan. There were some booths that I really wanted to hit, and I did get to those, all except for one that I totally missed. It was in the back corner, and I'm really sad that I missed it, but that's okay. I hit most of the ones that I wanted to, and a lot of extras. And it was fun. It was great fun. I met a lot of cool people at the podcaster meetup, and bought a lot of yarn, which I'll show eventually. Let's see, some of the people I got to meet were Megan from the Stockinette Zombies, who's adorable and lovely in person. And she loved my shawl. I was wearing my cool clavicle cover that I knit from one of her patterns that just came out. And I got to meet Jen from Down Cellar Studios podcast, also known as Boston Jen. And I got to meet Emily from Knitting Butterflies. Ooh, sorry, I split my yarn. So, hello Emily. And I got to meet Sarah and Christy from In a Snit, and they were hilarious. All of these people were superbly lovely and wonderful in person, and very lovely and nice to talk to, so that was fantastic. And oh, I also got to meet Paula from Knitting Pipeline. She was there, and I'm a big fan of her podcast, so that was really exciting for me. All of these people, I love their podcasts. Downseller Studios and Knitting Butterflies are on my list of things to watch, so it was really fun to meet them in person, and now I'll go watch their podcasts or listen to their podcasts. I'm not sure if they're audio or video. Anyway, I also got to meet Danny from Prairie Girl Sit and Spin or Knit and Spin. And she also does the One Twisted Tree bags on Etsy, which look lovely. She doesn't have anything in her shop right now, but hopefully she'll do an update soon, because I love this. This one right here with the tulips on it. You know I love tulips, so anyway, this is her information if you wish to check her out on Etsy. And she was adorable as well. And this is Boston Jen and Knitting Butterflies. I also got a bunch of buttons, which I have stored in here. Got some swag from Stockinette Zombies. And a pen from Mrs. Babs. Kind of see that. Or Miss Babs. Sorry, Miss Babs. Don't want to get that wrong. I got... Oh, this was my hello, my name is Ravelry button that I got a while ago, I think at YarnCon like 4 years ago. Anyway, I wore that all day, so it was easy to identify me. Let's see what else. So there's the Downseller Studio. And Two Tangled Skeins was there. It's kind of dark, so it's hard to see. And, oh, here it is. Prairie Girls Knit and Spin. It is Knit and Spin. And theirs is an audio podcast, so it was really nice to see their cute little faces. And In a Snit, they gave out little stitch markers, which were super fun. And let's see what else. Oh, U University. I just love that picture. Let's see if it'll focus. Oh, there we go. Is there a sheep with like a graduation cap on it? Fiber for the brain. And so she's on my list now too. And oh, here's the escape stitch marker from earlier. Put that back in here. And I also, there were some other podcasters there. I'm sorry if I missed you. I tried to talk to everyone and meet everyone, but there were a lot of people there. So I'm sorry if I missed you, but I think I got most people. And I also went to the Jelby. This is from one of the pins from her booth. She was with another crafty girl. It's these adorable felted bunnies. But she's jelby.etsy.com. So I bought something in their booth. So I got a free pin. Super cute. I'm going to put all this stuff back in here so I don't lose it. Those can stay there. Alright. So that's all the swag I got. I had little cards that I gave out. Just really simple Knitted Paradise cards and where to find us. So if you ever want to know where to find us, that's it right there on a card. If you've ever got a package from me, I usually include one of these. Speaking of packages, I do have the package together for our winner from July. I'm sorry that it's taken so long. My life has been really crazy, but I have it together, and I'm really happy with it, how it turned out. It's just a little, it's a little knitting kit, basically, a little notions kit. with a bunch of fun little things in it. So I will get that mailed out before I leave for Gen Con this weekend. I promise. So I'm really excited. It's definitely a homemade Pearl of the Pacific Knitted Paradise kit. So it's a one-of-a-kind thing. I hope you enjoy it. It's got some cool stuff in it. All right. I think that's it for flora and fauna. Dun, dun, dun. Trying to look around, make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, from my holiday. This is going a lot faster than I thought, so this is good. I'm not blabbering as much as I thought I would. So from my holiday, a little bit about me. I have been working on training for a 50-mile cycling adventure, I'm calling it, in the end of September. I may or may not have mentioned this before, but my biking buddy, who used to live here and now lives in Michigan, convinced me to sign up for a 50-mile ride in the end of September. I wanted 0 and he wanted 100, so we settled at 50. So I've been training for that. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I spent about 3.5 hours on the bike yesterday for a total of 44 miles, which was a lot, let me say. That was the most I have ever done in a day. And I was pretty tired. So I've got a lot of work to do before September. But the fact that I did it proves to me that I'm not going to die in September. I did do 35 a few weeks ago, and that seemed a little better. So 44 was pushing it a little bit, but it worked. I will admit, I did take a break in the middle and eat lunch. I had a bison burger with sweet potato fries, which was amazing. Mainly because I just biked 20 miles, but also it was really delicious. I have one of my best friends lives about 20 miles away by bike, and so I bike to his house and we have lunch and hang out, and then I bike back. But it is all on, not all on surface streets. A portion of it is on a trail through a park, but I do still have to deal with runners and other bikers and things. So I may take a trek out somewhere where I can bike without a whole lot of car interruption, because having to deal with lights and stopping every once in a while, which is nice sometimes to get a little respite, but at the same time it interrupts my riding. So we'll see how that goes, but that's one of the adventures I've been on recently. I have talked about the fact that I am a cyclist, and I do enjoy biking a lot. One of the things I wanted to show was, I'm not going to show it up close because it's got a lot of personal information on it, but I have this wristband, which is called a Road ID. If you go to roadid.com, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But I got this a while ago, and I think this is a fantastic idea for anyone who does biking or running or anything, especially by yourself. And what it has on it is it has my name, and I put the year I was born so they know how old I am, because I look a lot younger than I am. I'm okay with that. It's got my husband's name and his phone number. It's got my some of my best friends, 2 of them on here with their phone numbers. It has the fact that I'm an organ donor and the fact that I have no known allergies. If I knew my blood type, I'd put that on here too. I know I'm a type O, but I don't know if I'm positive or negative. Probably positive because it's more common, but I don't actually know. I know it's terrible. I need to find out. But you can also get an interactive one where it has your simple information like your name and maybe your significant other's phone number and a website or a phone number that whoever finds you with this can call and get updated information, such as more of a medical history or who your primary doctor is. You can put more information than the 5 lines that I can fit on this little thing. And there are bigger ones. There are ankle ones. There are dog tag ones. This is the slim bracelet one. And I can show you the back. It just slips on here like that. And I have a clear band. I also have a yellow band and a black band, I think. So you can change the band. But it just slips over my wrist, and so I wear that when biking. So if anything happens to me, I mean, God forbid anything happened to me, but this is a great way for whoever finds me to know, oh, this is who you are and this is who I should contact in, in case of emergency, basically. And EMTs know about these and they know to look for them. So that's really great. It's a tip I have for anyone who, goes hiking or biking or running, especially by yourself. It made my husband feel a lot better. I also made him get one for when he travels by himself. And I made some of my friends get one because they go biking by themselves too. And they're great. Okay, I'm babbling on. Enough about that. And I guess that's it. I don't want to talk too much longer. Have a great week, everybody. Follow me on Instagram for updates on Gen Con. I'll try to do a little videoing there. I'm not sure how successful I'll be. It'll probably be on my phone because I'm not going to take my computer. But yeah, I'll definitely be posting pictures of amazing costumes that I see or games that I see and things like that. And next week I'll have a Gen Con update. And that's it. All right, have a great week, everyone. Bye.